Oh yes, we are live. Legends, how is everybody doing? Let me know if you can hear me, if you can see me. Make sure to absolutely destroy the like button. We are going to go through the Bitcoin technical analysis, looking at the different probabilities, what happened throughout Friday and the weekend. Is this bearish? Are we going to get continuation to the downside, or are we ready for a reversal? We're going to talk about the most important levels of support and resistance, signs of strength that we need to look at, and also sign of weakness to see if the price is going to go to much lower levels, guys. Make sure to destroy the like button. I'm going to say hello to the beautiful community and we'll crack on here with Bitcoin. We've got some many charts to take a look at, such as the Bitcoin dominance, the dollar index, which is looking pretty good. It is actually starting to roll down, which is supposedly good for the stock market and Bitcoin. We do have a very interesting week ahead of us. We got the US elections, all right, presidential elections tomorrow. We do have also Fed interest rate decision, which is very likely going to be 25 basis point cut. Okay, we can see it's almost 100% guaranteed that that is going to happen. So it's a very interesting week. We're going to see a bit of volatility and some different charts that I want to talk about also here, and some very interesting news. Okay, so make sure to stay tuned. We'll be going through the price of Bitcoin, mainly getting the technical analysis, the levels, the waves, the extensions, the patterns, you know, try and come into to figure out what is next for the price and where are those good levels for some good trading opportunities. And as always, create those plans and remain patient for that plan. Let's go right away through the comment section. Say hello to the beautiful community right away after everybody has destroyed the like button, and we're just going to say hello to the beautiful people. Okay, it's very important for me. Say hello to you, and then we'll crack on here with Bitcoin. Okay, analyzing the waves, what the heck has happened throughout the weekend. Are we going to get an epic bounce from here? Are we going to collapse back down, test the lows? There are some different scenarios that I want to talk about. Okay, guys, good morning. Hello, everybody. Real Al Pacino, how are you doing, my man? Hello. Jackie Wood, I got my mother here in the comment section as always, providing the support. Jose Lovera, good morning. Guys, please smash the like button, says Frederick. There are channels where you have to pay for these type of content. Yes, sir, that is damn correct. Thank you, Andy, for your great TA, my man. Thank you very much for joining and those kind words. Let's go through the different comments, and we go through Bitcoin right away, okay? Because we are, let me know if you can hear me, and you can see me, and you can hear the background drum and bass now starting. Yo, what's up, Paulo? Bitcoin going to $10,000. Well, yeah, maybe not today. Maybe not today or tomorrow. Will it go to $10,000 in the future? Maybe yes, but it will also go to $100,000, right? So yeah, it's probably going to go there, but not today or tomorrow. We're going to be analyzing what we need to see here regarding levels and some potential trading setups. Remember the 5th of November, says Josh. The gunpowder, treasure and plot. I can think of no reason the gunpowder treason should ever be forgot. Right. Josh Cassidy. Are you going to pump today? Are we going to pump today, says Ray. Valerie, much love. Aloha. Good morning. Elige, buenos dias. Murat C, hello. Morning. Got liquidated. Happy days. Aaron, we try and get stopped out, not liquidated. Okay, we're going to be analyzing some different levels. We got a bit of a pump and dump on Friday. For me, this is still pretty good. This only means that, you know, this is still very corrective in a large range, and I would be expecting some kind of pretty interesting reversal at some point, whether that is claiming the lows or without claiming the highs. We'll be talking about some different scenarios. Okay. Great to be here, says Murat. Let's go. Good afternoon, Andy, says Ahmed. Much love. Liquid Diddy, says Nirvana. Pac-Man, my brother, much love to you. Asking for a friend. What is going on? Is anyone invited? What to? Is anyone invited to what? Crypto Big Brains. What's up, legend? Smash up the like button for the mighty Andy. Let's go. Thank you, brother, for those kind words. We need baby oil for charts and candles, says Majestic. Oh my goodness. Just learned that Andy never seen V or Vendetta. What a shame. It's happening real time in America. Yeah, I'll check that. I'll check that. Don't ask, Andy, says Pac-Man. All right, enough of comment section. You guys have a good time in the comment section. For me, I'm going to go through the pure technical analysis here and analyze a little bit. Hey, what are the major levels? What's going on? Shall we just zoom out a little bit? I think, obviously, zooming out right now is... oh my goodness, it's like, okay, we front run the all-time high just by $100 or even less than that on some exchanges, right? Is this bullish? Is this bearish? Lots of selling pressure here. This is it. No all-time high. Election, fake pump, right? Donald Trump elected or not, it's not going to be bullish. It's bearish, and we're going to lower levels, right? We're going to 10K like somebody says here. We're not really that interested in what happens throughout the next coming weeks. I mean, I do believe that all-time high is just very, very likely, especially coming as close to all-time high the other day. I think it's unlikely that we're going to see a bear market from this point right over here, right? Is the top in? I want to know in the comment section. The top is in right now, and we're going to go to 10K, right? Or 50K. I believe that the price is still very much bullish. Okay, there's no reasons to believe that we are bearish from this point. We got the diamond pattern from many months ago, right? We were talking about this in August, and this is actually playing out pretty nicely. Just a basic diamond pattern, right? Looking at the higher time frames, guys, this is something that we mentioned on live for a long time, right? Long time talking about this diamond pattern, right? We're actually making fun of this diamond pattern, saying, yeah, well, you know, it's not that tradable. I mean, you could swing trade the breakout from the diamond bottom pattern, right, which is a reversal pattern. And we were just talking about this for many weeks, saying, hey, I like this move to the downside that was created the first week of August, right? Being the 5th of August, the most, impulsive move down. And then we started ranging right over here. Hey guys, this is probably a diamond pattern, and the pattern target is the width of the diamond, right, to the center of the diamond. And hey, we're pretty much on track. We almost actually hit the target zone, right? Diamond pattern, yes. Haha, we are going down to below 50K. Well, this ended up in a solid breakout, a solid retracement after the breakout, and continuation to the upside. So for the moment, the target is not hit from this diamond bottom reversal pattern. Why is it bottom? Because it's coming from a downtrend, right? So overall, playing out very nicely. We're still very much uptrending. So now the question is, hey, what's going on the lower time frames, right? I know we're going to go to 10K. I know we might go to 10K at some point in the future. Maybe not, maybe never. But it is possible, right? We're not too interested. We're interested in, hey, where could the waves form next, right? Where can I take advantage of certain moves, whether it's to the downside or to the upside? Where are the levels that I would be expecting a bounce or a rejection, okay? One of the levels of rejection that we did mention on the previous live stream, which for me was a sign of strength. However, this turned out to be a much more complex type of corrective move. In a WXY, you have a double zigzag, okay? And it did not end up here with a regular easy ABC, right? Because the whole game is like, okay, ABC, we pump all the way up here to the 618 Fibonacci from this pivot, okay? From this pivot right over here to the pivot low, we hit the golden pocket. That will be a sign of strength, because then we're not looking at a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 impulsive move to the downside, meaning that you've overlapped the first wave, and that is an invalidation point. However, we came straight back down. We rolled back down, okay, testing the lows here. And that can be explained throughout this price action right over here. Of course, there was no steam. I can explain that in just a few seconds. But we were mentioning the VWAP from almost the all-time highs that were created last Tuesday, right? The anchored VWAP, all right, which is a tool that you can get here on Tradingview. Anchored VWAP, it's always important to take it at a higher time frame high or a higher time frame low. Well, the anchored VWAP from the highs right over here was providing that resistance. Also, with the golden pocket here from this pivot, right? We got this wave down, and then you got the next wave down, golden pocket and anchored VWAP, saying, guys, you know, you can actually short this level. I would personally take it as a scalp just because this will no longer look impulsive, okay, to the downside. However, we did continue to lower levels, but it is still not impulsive. So it does look like that we are in a kind of a, you know, very complex corrective structure that we can go through the different scenarios, or a possible contracting diagonal, right? Like a descending wedgie structure, right? That could get the breakout to the upside. However, we want to be cautious on the levels of resistance that are going to be talked about in today's stream. So overall, the level of resistance mentioned on the previous live stream after getting that explosive breakout, because we did pump relatively fast, but we went to the most important level, which was that anchored VWAP and the golden pocket. That is where the price got the rejection from here back down to the lows. And the main reason why that this did not end up impulsive, okay, when we do zoom in to the lower time frames and try and understand, okay, this was actually looking pretty good, right? This pump and dump that we had on Friday, we were saying, okay, you know, there is a possibility if we start here with this wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, right? Okay, we have a chance. We hit the 618. This no longer looks impulsive to the downside. This is a good sign. Now the question is, will we manage to form a higher low and consolidate, move down in a 3-wave structure very slowly, nothing fast. We do not want to catch falling knives. Okay, we want to see the price moving down in a 3-wave structure, find some support levels, and then look for the next wave to the upside, forming a 5-wave move up. However, we did not get that 3-wave structure down. We just collapsed in a matter of 1 to 2 hours. Very, very fast. We don't want to catch here any of this, right? We want to see the price finding proof of support and moving slowly to the downside with decreased volume, all right? We do not want to see a waterfall candle like this with high volume, right? We want to see a nice zigzag kind of movement to the downside and look to enter a possible long position, especially if we do have bullish CVD divergence. And preferably, you would want to hit in between the 382 and the 50% Fibonacci from this pivot low to the pivot high, right? If we are speculating in a wave 4 right there, you know, this should be forming a higher low somewhere around about 50% Fibonacci, give or take, right? $100 up, down, right? Round about that range. That is where you want to find a little bit of support and not fall like this. That completely invalidates the possibility of this actually going to higher levels impulsively, right? So this broke the entire uptrend structure, right? It no longer looked impulsive. So this means that obviously you're going to be forming still the corrective move, right, throughout the weekend, right, and today. Now, what has happened here looking at this movement down, right? Very, very complex. As always, I wish trading and technical analysis would be easy, guys. But if it would be easy, then everybody would be in the game making millions, right? We just need, it's a boring game. You know, we need to take a look at the possible different trading opportunities, extensions, and remain patient for your highest probability levels, right? Just like one level that was mentioned on the previous live stream, which was that golden pocket right over here and that anchored VWAP, right? This, guys, is a rejection point. This is what we talk about. This level where the anchored VWAP is a rejection point with a golden pocket, okay? It's also just a basic support from this price action that we had last Wednesday, support resistance flip, okay? Of course, your question here might be, hey, where do I put stop loss? You know, how can I get into this trade kind of safely, right? It's never safe, but you can cut off those losses, right? Don't get into a compound short position just in case the price, you know, just absolutely rockets. Then you'll be underwater and you'll get wrecked. We do not want to do that. We want to be very specific. So the only way to trade this, as mentioned on the previous live stream, is as you are above that anchored VWAP and the golden pocket being the 61865 zone, you're not interested in taking the short. If anything, as soon as the price gets acceptance back beneath the level is where you want to take the chance in getting into the short with your stop loss above the high created. That is the only way that you can do that safely so you can cut your losses, right? Then, yeah, you just need to take advantage of that move down and start collecting those profits, especially at the at the session VWAP, right? Overall, the VWAP is a target zone, right? As a scalp, it already got a nice move of about $600-700 down to the local VWAP, right? The session VWAP of the day. That needs to be your take profit zone. You can leave some open and you can start being defensive with your stop loss. This was the only way to trade this. And of course, we were waiting for a nice chilled 3-wave structure, a little bit of bullish CVDs, find proof of support, you know, decreased volume into the correction, not increased volume, and it moved too fast to the downside. Obviously not interested in catching a falling knife, right? So now what is next? What do we have here, right? Just a little bit of, you know, the scenarios from the previous live stream, right? Now what is next? What can we expect for the price of Bitcoin? We got a little bit of support from an anchored VWAP here, as we can see, right? There's several anchored VWAPs because we got several higher time frame lows and higher time frame highs. Well, basically the higher lows, you can get anchored VWAP from this higher low, you can get anchored VWAP from this higher low, right? It's higher time frame, higher lows and lower highs where you want to apply the anchored VWAP. And for the moment, throughout the weekend, we did maintain the anchored VWAP from the low created on the 10th of October, as you can see right over here. So far so good, right? Bit of higher time frame support, but we are interested in something more special, right? Which is finding the opportunities locally, right? Where could I get into a trade potentially, you know, tonight, tomorrow, or in the next coming hours? This is why you guys are here, right? Because we try to look for the opportunities, try and understand the waves and the extensions, all right? And you know, come to the conclusion of, okay, you know, maybe there's a good setup here. So first of all, let's go right away and analyze this movement down, right? Looking a little bit at Elliott wave theory, right? We're not going to zoom too out. We are uptrending. We got this corrective move, all right? We want to focus a little bit on this movement to the downside. Is it impulsive? Is it corrective? Do we have a chance in going to higher levels, right? And this is what we want to start to analyze. Like I said, if we were to come all the way up here throughout Friday, this will no longer look impulsive. And impulsive, I mean by a 5-wave move, typically the third wave being the most impulsive out of the 5 waves, right? That's what we want to see. For the moment, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, but 4 overlapping the first wave, obviously invalidating the chance of an impulse. So now there's only 2 scenarios, right? There's actually 3. You're either forming a contracting diagonal, or you either forming a very, very complex WXY, as mentioned as well in the Legends trading community, where you basically formed the W, the X right there, and the Y in a double zigzag, right? You got a zigzag right over here. You got a zigzag here throughout Friday right there. 1, 2, 3. And then you have a zigzag here also. 1, 2, 3 to the downside. Double zigzag WXY. So could we be seeing higher levels for the price of Bitcoin in the next coming hours? Well, yes, there is a high chance. Okay, there is a high chance. So the other scenario would be that we are forming a contracting diagonal, right? That we are forming a contracting diagonal. Why could we be forming this? Well, basically you would look at this as a 3-wave contracting diagonal, right? Where you got 3-wave, you got a 3-wave right there, you got a 3-wave right over here, and you got another 3-wave right over here. So could it be that we're forming 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to get a 5? It is possible. Of course, we need to reject. We need to see the levels of resistance that we are interested in. Okay, could we have an attempt in breaking out this lower high resistance, right? This descending wedgie structure. Could it break out? Could it create a fake out, right? We get extremely bullish. Oh my goodness. You know, hey, we're going higher. Shall we FOMO long here because we are going to claim these lower highs from Friday? Well, let's talk about the levels of resistance, guys. What we need to see to actually say, okay, this looks pretty good. We got some volume. We're breaking out from these certain levels. Then, this does mean that the price does have a chance in actually pushing to higher levels or create the fake out and we roll back down to the lows, right? That is definitely a possibility, okay? So, yeah, the bearish case scenario is, you continue in this contracting diagonal, which we do not have much room because then it will be very channely. So it should be topping out somewhere in this range, not forming a descending channel resistance, right? So, there's not much room, okay, as an invalidation for the contracting diagonal. If we were to push to higher levels, then it will be becoming a channel. So that means that it's not a contracting, okay, diagonal descending wedgie structure, which means that it will be more likely bullish, that we will pop out and probably go to much higher levels. So let's try and understand here for the viewer, make you understand, what most importantly regarding the waves and finding the different scenarios. What are the most important levels of support and resistance where we have the highest confluence, right? Where could the price find a reaction? Just imagine that the price, right? We need to imagine sometimes of what could happen next. If we roll down from here, I need to be ready with certain levels that I do have here and react to those levels to take action, manage risk depending on how the price, starts hitting those levels, right? How can I look for a possible setup? Just like the short position that we talked about also here as a scalp, okay? My target zones were not coming down to the lows, I have to say, but it was a, acceptable scalp short for a move of a few $100s down, without a doubt. That anchored VWAP that was mentioned on Friday with the golden pocket. So yeah, that level was hit and it was rejected. So what are the levels do we have here to the downside that could be hit and we could get a bounce? Hey, what if we do get that leg down? What are you going to say about that? Is that going to be bearish? Will it fall here very aggressively? Or will we find some support and we'll get an epic bounce starting to sweep all of the lower highs from the last few days, which is what you would expect, right? It's a liquidity game. So you're moving down. Oh my goodness, we're breaking down. We're going to $10,000. No, we're going to find some support and we'll get the epic bounce at some point, right? It's going to happen. So that is what we are here for. We're trying to analyze what is the different possibilities here throughout the live stream. So what is the most important level of support? Just shut up already and go straight to the point, right? And stop making a big fuss about it. Just talk about the levels. For the moment, we have this weekly level, right, that did provide some pretty nice support, right? When we go to the weekly chart, we had this weekly level. This weekly level actually has not been tapped. It's a new weekly level based on yesterday's close. Okay, so we got the close from the previous week and the open from last week, and that weekly level has not been tapped yet. So weeklies are always very, very good. Very, very good levels to take into consideration, okay? However, it was the previous week close, okay? So that was actually providing support yesterday. A bit of volatility, a bit of a double bottom right there, getting this bounce throughout early this morning. Now, one of the most important, so we did want to close the previous week, okay? It actually closed green, right? Previous week closed green. We were trading just a few hours before closing this weekly candle yesterday, Sunday. We were trading basically at previous week close, right? So that weekly level was, weekly previous close was providing the support, right? This was the moment where the bulls were actually fighting throughout yesterday to really try and close that weekly candle above the previous week close, right? Which was red. So anyway, regardless that, right, it's just, maintained our support. This weekly level maintained our support, formed a double bottom throughout early this morning. Boom, got the bounce. Now, let's go with the different speculation scenarios. If the price were to roll down from here, I still don't see this as an impulsive move. I don't see this impulsive. This is extremely complex. There's 3 waves, 3 waves, 3 waves up. This is not a clear 5-wave move to the downside, okay? It's very 3-wavy. You got overlap right over here as well on the 4th wave, hitting the first wave, right? You're overlapping. It's just not looking good. It just doesn't look like it's going to have much power to the downside if the price were to come down here. So I understand that this entire structure doesn't look promising for the price to, if it rolls down, to get, a collapse, right? And sweep up these lows. This looks highly unlikely, okay? Could it happen and I can be completely wrong? Absolutely. I am wrong many times, but I know I will not be in a position if I am wrong here, and I won't be adding to position and I won't be underwater. So I know the levels that need to be hit, how it needs to react, and where to put my stop loss. If I get stopped out, happy days. Tomorrow's another day. We'll analyze a different range and then look for the next setup. So what will happen? So I say that there's low probability based on this movement. This looks either a contracting diagonal right over here or a WXY. There is no other way of counting this as an impulsive move, especially when you're comparing it to the moves to the upside, right? This move to the upside that we had last week is more promising, right? Even though this movement down has some volume, still less volume than the actual pump. This move looks more promising, right? This still looks very corrective based on what I explained here. Overlap, very 3-wavy, 3-wavy, 3-wavy. Overlap here on this wave 1. There's just no way to count this as a very strong move down. So if we were to roll down from here out of speculation and test this low, I understand that there is low probability in forming a major breakdown because on how we moved down since we created those highs on last Tuesday. I understand that there is low probability in crashing down here. It's just it's extremely unlikely. Okay, could it happen? Absolutely. This is a game of probabilities. I don't have a crystal ball. I wish I had, but I understand that it's a low probability move down. So if we were to come down to these levels, I am interested in trying to detect the bottom. Okay, trying to detect the bottom for the reversal. And the first thing that comes to my mind, if we were to test the lows in the next coming hours, say that we just roll, we form another lower high, and we come back down to the lows here. Let's get that weekly out of the way. Even though it hasn't been tapped, it is important. So if this were to happen, we form a lower high, we come and claim the low. I have to come to, the conclusion of, okay, well, what is next, right? We're forming these lower highs right there. We got these lower lows right over here. This has to be some kind of descending wedgie structure, right? And not on a pattern on its own. You might believe, okay, descending wedge usually breaks up, which is true. Ascending wedges usually not always break down, okay? In a bull market, I've seen many ascending wedges just break to the upside. So, and descending wedges breaking down as well, okay? It is definitely possible. So we need to know the exact zone where we are interested in legends. We need to know the exact zone, the alerts, where to set them, and the level where I'm interested for a setup, in this case for a long. We'll be talking about other levels as well, other scenarios. If we break from here, what is the level of resistance? If we break out solidly with volume, what I would be looking at to jumping into that long, try and ride the momentum to the upside, okay, at to certain levels of resistance. But first of all, we're looking at this scenario, right? Because as traders and technical analysts, we look at different scenarios, right? We look at this zone over here. We look at what could happen here, right? And try and map what could be next, okay? Depending on the next move. And there's been some other local moves throughout the different setups throughout the last 24 hours, without a doubt, which can be explained. But I want to explain what is next more than, going through what happened yesterday, early this morning, and what happened a few hours ago. I want to talk about what could happen next, right? And what are the levels of interest. So continuing with this scenario, and I really will go through the comment section, guys, but I need to do the analysis for you here for free, right? My opinion anyway, right? I'm not the TA god. I'm far away from it. But I just want to give you a little bit of my perspective on what I think could happen and where could there be a trading opportunity, and share it with my fellow followers here that are absolutely destroying the like button. And that makes me love you, and that makes you love me. So yeah, smash up the like button, legends. Right away, I gave the $500 giveaway to the lucky winner. I can't remember who it was right now. Life is a miracle, I think. Life is a miracle. He got his $500 giveaway. If we get to, there's over 700 people. If we get to 1,000 likes, is it $1,000 that we need to give? I'll tell you what, if we get to 1,000 likes, we do $500 giveaway. And on the next stream, if we get to 1,000 likes, we'll do $1,000 giveaway. How about that? That sounds absolutely epic. Anyway, let's continue with the analysis. Just shut up already with your giveaways and like button, right? Continue with the analysis. I'm here for the analysis, not for the giveaways. So let's destroy the like button, guys, because if those likes go up, I feel pumped up with the likes. I'm going to give out some money, right, for the community, for sure. Anyway, let's go. Looking at the next scenario here. Where was I? I'm getting lost here. Too many numbers, too many charts. Brain freeze. Right, we were talking about this scenario. Hey, we roll down from here. I see there's low probability in breaking down successfully here. I do see a chance at least for a bounce, and it's probably not going to be easy. It might be choppy. You might double bottom locally, right? You're going to get a bit of wikis and stuff like that, and you'll be like, oh, should I enter? Should I not enter? Where's my stop? Should I add to the position? Emotions start kicking in, right? When the price is actually at our entry point, right, or our decision point. Let's go with naked point of control. This is the whole point, was just getting to the naked point of control. I took 10 minutes just to talk about this naked point of control. That is it, guys. Now I can end the stream and we can all, go and take a hike and have our alert set. Right, so basically this naked point of control is very interesting. It's from last week, right? We do have, this consolidation. You could arguably discuss it's, all the way from here. It's slightly different. It's a weekly naked point of control, which means it is the highest volume node from the previous week. If you take the entire range, well, that's basically where we got supported, right? This point of control, right, from the entire range that we formed since the 15th of October till the 28th of October. So yeah, we did get a bounce here throughout the weekend, right, from that high volume node of this range. It's acceptable. It's a double bottom. It's acceptable for that long, I have to say. But the weekly naked point of control, which is based on the previous week, okay, this is just as easy as going to the weekly chart and looking at and obviously now it's not the previous week because we just closed Sunday yesterday. We closed the week. It is this week right over here, right? This candlestick from 2 weeks ago. Not the previous one, the other one. We've got that high volume node, weekly naked point of control that has not been tapped at 67,363. So this is a zone that I would be interested in seeing the reaction, right? There's two things that could happen here. There's two things, obviously. You break down or you get a reaction and you bounce. So there's this scenario. You roll down just out of speculation. If we do not break out from here, we're talking about the possibility, right? If we do roll down with whatever happens here, okay, I'm not saying that we're rolling down. Very important. If we do roll down, it's my next level of interest. There's two scenarios. You break that high volume node from the 2 weeks ago, right? From this consolidation, you break down and this, starts claiming all of these lows, and it's devastating. We drop over $3,000. My God, Bitcoin to 10K, right? We get all of that, all of those bearish calls throughout YouTube and Twitter. Or we hit the level and get acceptance back above. It gets a reaction. You finally complete, or you even get supported from the descending wedge support level, get the reaction, and a possible backtest is possible as well. So this would be the zone that if we do get a reaction bounce, I would definitely be speculating on the possibility of, hey, for any of those classic pattern chartists out there, descending wedge, this is the low of the wedge. The wedge should technically, with higher probability, I'm not sure if it's 60, 70%, right? Descending wedges break up, ascending wedges break down. You would come to the conclusion, also looking at Elliott wave theory, that it's a contracting diagonal, which is actually bearish. It would mean one thing. We claim that low again here. For me, yeah, I would be interested in the breakout. I would realize that, yeah, it's very likely that we are going to get that breakout to the upside. But I would believe that we will be getting one more leg to the downside. And that is only if we hit the low one more time and we get a reaction, right? We would be, this would be the speculative long zone. Get the reaction, get acceptance back above the weekly naked point of control, right? We want to get the price above the level so we understand there is proof of support. And it's probably not going to be easy. It looks easy while we're drawing it. Okay, guys, we get beneath it, we get above it, then we look for higher. No, it is not easy. Of course it's not. You're going to get the price tricking you, right? The price is going to trick you. Because with that same theory that I'm explaining here, if we get the entire consolidation from the last 2 weeks, look at the high volume node right over here. It actually created a kind of a local double bottom, right? Let's turn this purple just so we see the example. And this is how we learn technical analysis, based on history, based on how did the price react to this level, with this wave, with this extension, with this naked point of control, with whatever, right? So we look at, well, we have a high volume node here on the volume profile. How did, let's leave this, I don't know what color, this, let's put this, let's just put it yellow, right? You got this high volume node. And, we are talking about this one, right? How to react to that level. So let's try and understand, okay, we hit this high volume node from the last 2 weeks, right? From this consolidation throughout the weekend, it actually maintained our support. We got beneath it, but we got above it, and we got a pretty nice epic bounce of, I don't know, $1,500. That's great for a trade. So let's try and understand and zoom in, hey, this high volume node from the last 2 weeks, how could have I possibly traded this? How the heck can I trade this? Look at what happened here. That high volume node from the last 2 weeks, by the way, I did not have this on my analysis. I did not have this level on my analysis, but it's very interesting to see. It got very choppy. Look at this. It got extremely choppy. So you got the price getting beneath the level, getting back above. You possibly could have sniped alonged. Your stop loss is here, right? It comes back down. It stops you out. Then it gets back up here. Then you say, okay, I'm going to give it another shot. Okay, got stopped out once, but we got acceptance back above. I re-enter the trade. My stop loss becomes the new stop loss beneath the low, right? And what the price does after that move, it actually back tests the level. We love back tests. It happens. you know, me as a defensive trader, sometimes I get stopped out at break even because of back tests, and I need to remain a little bit more patient and have stop losses where it needs to be, right? Just leave it where it needs to be till you actually get that move, right? Sweeping up some highs or going to levels of resistance. However, you know, this was a little bit complex. You were forming some bearish CVDs right there. So anyway, you got the back test. That is that point of control from that range of the last 2 weeks, okay? Now, it was not easy, right? So this weekly naked point of control, yeah, I can come here and say, hey guys, we get the reaction, we get acceptance back above, you know, hey, it's off to the races, right? We long and stop loss at the low. We need to be aware that, hey, maybe the price is going to be a little bit punchy, and the price might get that reaction and it might wick down again and then comes back up, right, from the level, and then gets the move, and you're like, oh, I longed it, but I got stopped out, I missed it. It happens just like it happened right over here, and it even back tested the level just to bring you in and out from that move, and then finally getting that move of over $1,000 plus, right? So just coming to this conclusion, guys, this is not going to be an easy zone to actually jump into the long, but it is the level where we could be starting to get that price action that is really going to it's really going to make that difficult decision, right? It will look good. You have the swing trade mentality, which is, I know this is a good long position. I ain't going to put stop losses so tight. I'm just going to decrease my leverage and the amount of capital that I'm risking in that position. And I'm going to put stop loss a little bit further away, still maintaining that 1 to 2%, right, stop loss ratio, right, based on your capital in your trading platform. So you just need to decrease leverage and capital and put stop loss a little bit further away. And of course, if you do get that move, it will be a 2-3 to 1 risk to reward, right, based on your stop loss. You just don't want to be in front of the chart with that small little volatility, up, down, back up and down. You're just going to give the chance and a bit of room that you are going to get that breakout from the descending wedge. Now, this is a more chilled way of trading, right, for all of those people that are really busy, right, and they're not glued into the chart, right, and looking at the candlesticks, and they're just waiting for the perfect entry, right, so that you can have a tight stop loss and the biggest risk to reward, right? Well, that's a much more chilled way of trading. Instead of waiting for the exact level, the exact local double bottom, and risking, you know, with a 50x leverage and have a extreme tight stop loss, and you get a massive good risk to reward of, you know, 7 to 1 or 8 to 1, which usually, you know, makes, you know, that when you're scalping, right, that's what you're kind of looking at, right? The tightest stop loss, the best entry, right? You're looking at the levels on the 1 minute time frame, the reaction at the naked point of control, and you get in an epic entry. However, a lot of people are not, you know, available for all of this nonsense, right? You know, they just, hey, I know it's a level where it could bounce. You know, I'm going to give it a bit of a breather, right? I am aware of the breakout of the wedge, you know, and I could be basically targeting the top of the wedge, right? Which would be, it would make sense to round about that level, because if this is a contracting diagonal, it means it's an impulsive move down, okay? High probability impulse, well, not an impulse, but it's moving to the downside, leading a downtrend, okay? So meaning that this bounce will likely form a lower high. However, that bounce would typically go at least to the 50% Fibonacci, okay? I would say around about the 50%. Could it hit 382? Yes, it can, and it can reject from the 382, not gonna lie, but it's unlikely. Most likely you get to 50% or even 618 or even 78, right? Especially if it's gonna be a wave 2 or a wave B. Wave Bs, yes, they can retrace to the 382, but it's uncommon, right? We go to the common target fib levels, right? Which would be 50%, 618. So overall, you would be targeting at least the 50% Fibonacci, right? That would be a realistic, you'll be sweeping up all of these lower highs. That is if we were to roll down. Okay, guys, we're talking about this scenario. It's a plan. It's where we know that we could react. We are analyzing the waves. It makes sense based on the waves, okay? It makes sense based on the waves. You will be forming a descending wedgie structure or a contracting diagonal, and that is just purely based on the timing and purely based on the waves that you would be ready here for that breakout to start sweeping up the lower highs. It's just how the price moves, and you have the level where the price could get the reaction, which is that naked point of control, and you understand with the waves, Fibonacci, the timing, with the analysis basically, that this would be a high probability move. Especially knowing that this is not impulsive, right? This is not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fourth wave overlapped the first wave. It just does not make sense for the price to roll down. But it could happen, okay? It could happen. We always need to have stop losses. We always need to have invalidation points. You cannot trust me on YouTube on an analysis and go all in, right? Do not do that, guys. Do not. I'm completely wrong a lot of the times, right? I'm totally transparent about that. You guys know, but a lot of the times I'm right as well, right? We love coming out and saying, hey, this was the level that bounced. This is the level that got rejected. The 618 Fibonacci here did get the epic rejection the other day on Friday, right? The 618 and the anchored VWAP. This is a level to reject, and we're very likely going to reject at least a few $100, right? That anchored VWAP, look at it. It just got beautiful rejection right there. It actually rejected over $3,000, but we were looking for a few $100 down to the session VWAP, right? We're looking for a scalp, we're looking at day trade, we're looking to scratch some dollars out of the market. So that level did get rejection. So there's two ways. Okay, I have to explain for all of those that want to be glued in front of the chart. Yeah, you have the local double bottom, right? On the lower time frame, it might be triple, it might be double, it might be choppy, just like the one that happened right over here on Sunday, getting that bounce late Sunday, right? Early this morning, getting the bounce. It will not be easy for all of those people that want to trade it in a more chilled way. I would have to say, once you get the first reaction, which is basically getting down the weekly naked point of control and getting back above it, you want to put a sniper, and it's the best way that I would do it for anybody that just wants to forget about the charts, right? And just wait for that possible breakout to start. Risk to reward is not going to be that massive because you're giving a bit of room. You're still maintaining the 1 to 2%, okay, risk, all right, from your capital. Yeah, it's only a 2 to 1 risk to reward, or 2.5. It might extend a little bit longer, but hey, if you want to do it chilled and just place the order, your trigger point would be as soon as you get acceptance back above that weekly negative point of control. And just be aware that the price could come down, okay, and create that choppiness and create a local double bottom and then finally recover, because you are going to get a lot of people longing, and you're going to get some wicks to the downside to stop everybody out from those long positions, right? This is what happens. This is what basically happens, just like we saw right over here with on Sunday, right? With that high volume node. It didn't touch it and instantly bounced. It got choppy on the lower time frames. Okay, so it could chop, right? Choppy, chop, and then start moving up. So like I said, you got the bit of a room stop loss, still maintaining the risk. Even the stop loss is far away, you're still maintaining that 1 to 2%, right, capital risk. And if it does get the bounce, well, obviously you got that 4-5%, right, potential profit if it does get the breakout. Now, what would be the some other scenarios, right? So let's just say the price starts breaking out from here, and this is going to be very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. A little bit more complex. This is much easier, right? I would prefer to see something like this, right? Where you just, descending wedge, you come to the high volume node from the previous week, right? That naked weekly point of control. You're forming a descending wedge. This is like, I know that there's a good trading setup here. Come on. This is like, hey, this is, relatively easy to manage risk, where to enter, where to put stop loss round about the range, right? This is a relatively, simple, easy to understand setup right there. Descending wedge pattern, contracting diagonal. We got a weekly naked point of control. We understand the timing and the waves, right? It's just beautiful, right? It's just textbook. That would be easy. Will we get it or not? Well, I don't know. Maybe the price is going to break out and everything that we've talked about is just going in the bin. And we just have to look for the next scenario. There is liquidation to the downside. We got a bit of liquidity up as well. Okay, depending on, what there is liquidity still to the down. There's liquidity down and up. There is actually a little bit more liquidity to the upside when we take a look at the last 24, 48 hours, right? Range of the weekend. There's actually some liquidity just slightly, around about the 70K range, right? Which would be sweeping those highs right over here. So that is one scenario. Okay, that is one scenario. What would be the other scenario, right? If we are talking about this not being impulsively moving down, it's either contracting. What is the other scenario, right? The other scenario would be a double zigzag, right? A double zigzag in a WXY complex corrective structure where you formed a W right there, an X and a Y. We've been talking about this throughout the Legends training community, this possibility throughout this morning. Of course, this would be actually quite bullish, right? You would be looking at a finished corrective structure. You formed a zigzag right over here, a zigzag right over here, a zigzag right over here, right? Forming that W, a three-wave complete structure. And then you got one here, a three-wave right there, getting the X point. And you also have the one here in a zigzag coming down to the lows. So let's talk about the levels of resistance and the levels of support locally, right? This could be a corrective move that is finishing, and we're going to get a pretty interesting bounce. Overall, even though that this is a corrective move, right, in a WXY, we could still come up here and still come back down. This does not mean that this is time to moon and we're going to go to all-time highs, which it could, but just to understand, this could still be inside a much larger corrective move, right? Looking at the timing, we've only formed a three-wave move here, all right? And this could still be a very large move like this. This could still be much larger of a correction. It's possible. Of course, we're not going to talk about that because we need the wave formations, right? We need the next move to happen, just like the one that that's happened here, right? The main reason we can speculate on this possible contracting diagonal is because we have the waves. This is why this would be an epic trade. This would be an epic trade. It's just why? Because we got the data, we got the moves, we got the overlap, we have the naked weekly point of control. We got some data now, and we can come to a trading setup. So this is why this, this is very, very nice. This is the kind of setups that the planets align, the waves align, the timing aligns, the confluence aligns, the wedge aligns, and everything aligns that this could be a scenario, right? And that's what we really want, right? The most important move is the next one. So what if the next movement is going to blast out here? What would be the scenarios, right? What can I expect of that move? Will it be bullish or will it be bearish? Will we reject? Will it be a fake out? Will it be a breakout? We're going to have to talk about the levels and talk about the different possibilities because, there is that complete corrective structure, easy to understand, three wave, right? That's it. So that we can understand that, this might push to the upside. Will it be extremely bullish, or will we just be forming some internal waves that could still be corrective and we're going to roll back down? There's no reason to believe that this is the end and we're going to hit all-time high. Absolutely not. We could form a lower high here and continue down. All right. So we need to understand what are the levels of resistance? Well, we've got a naked point of control. That is, first of all, the first level, right? That's based on a couple of days ago, we had a high volume node from this range that has not been tapped. We slightly front runned it today with an internal double top, right? So that naked point of control is right over here from this consolidation, right? It's a high volume node on the volume profile. Probably can get it on the volume profile here. There we go. There it is. There it is. When we take a look at the last few days, highest volume node, there it is right there from this consolidation. It's a naked point of control. We front runned it today with a little bit of a double top, right? So that level has not been hit. It's a high volume node. Could we get the fake out and roll back down, or could we get the breakout and continue to the upside? It's a decision level. It's a decision level, and that's where you and me come into play here. That's where you and me come into play, right? So we have the rollover scenario. We mentioned it, weekly naked point of control. Preferably you get a wick, you get acceptance back above. If you want to try and catch the falling knife and try and detect the low here before we get above the weekly naked point of control, because I know I used to do this a few years ago, okay? And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes the price just goes against you and you're like, holy crap, why did I try and catch the falling knife without getting the acceptance back above the level? It's preferably you just want to wait for the price to get acceptance back above and you have a stop loss, and that's the end of that. Okay, so trying to catch the ultimate low level, right? Trying to be a smart guy, and you end up wrecked a lot of times, right? I don't do this. You're not going to see me, look at entering a long position here. If you see me in a long position, right, tomorrow or whatever, if we do get this move, you will see me in that long position here. You won't see me with a long position here. Okay, look, you could speculate, right? Going back to this move here, guys. Sorry, not this corrective move. My bad. I'm just moving back to the other scenario. We'll go to the next scenario. But let's just continue with that one, because I know some people will be interested in trying to catch the ultimate bottom instead of waiting for the acceptance back above the weekly, right? And, basically a double bottom again here, and a swing failure pattern, get acceptance back above that weekly naked point of control, and trying to catch the low. Right? Trying to catch that lowest level. You could use some Fibonacci tools. You could use the lower low support. You could use the lower low support from this wedge, right? It's still a wedge. It might not be a wedge and you might break out. You could use that level. You could use some extensions to analyze, see if there is any extension from this movement down that could provide you a solid Fibonacci extension. Let's give it a go right there from the highs here from last Tuesday to this low to this high right over here. You got the 1-to-1 extension, which would be sitting at the lower low support from this descending wedge. Hey, if you want to give that a shot, you need to trade this level as a swing failure pattern. You need to trade it as a reaction level, meaning that if you do hit that level, all right, and you continue beneath the level, you're obviously not interested in the long. But if you do hit the level, 1-to-1, 105, you get the reaction, you start getting above the level. You want to trigger that long position because you expect that this lower low support, the 1-to-1 extension from this move, is going to provide that support. You need to trade it like so. You hit the level, you react to the level, you get above it, and you see the reaction, you see the bounce. You can long and speculate with a long position right there. Give or take a bit of room. If this is the low, then obviously you're looking for that really nice move after several hours, right? Or 1 or 2 days. You would just have to wait for the level to get the reaction, and then sniper, give or take a bit of stop loss room beneath that low and give it a go. We have reasons to believe that this could happen. Descending wedge, 1-to-1 extension from this move, lower low support, contracting diagonal. We've got 5 waves down here, possibility. There is reasons to get into this trade, not randomly going in as in, I think the price is going to bounce or the price is going to dump. You have reasons to get into that trade. So you can take a shot like this, right? Like so, putting stop loss beneath the low as soon as you get that reaction from the lower low support and the 1-to-1 extension from this move. Take it with a pinch of salt. I would probably attempt that. I would also attempt the wick down. It doesn't hit the 1-to-1. It just gets an SFP from here and already jump into the long, stop loss at the low, and it might not hit the 1-to-1. It already might get a reaction from here. Anyway, we're getting a bit of a move to the upside at the moment. We are bouncing ever so slightly. So what are the levels of resistance, right? Maybe we're talking about this important scenario that might not even happen, and we've already gone through that the last 20 minutes. So let's talk about the breakout here. Hey, we break out from now, or we test at least the highs, which is a take profit zone if you're in any long positions, right? Just saying. If you are long from lower, obviously, from this range. Let's go through the possibilities of, okay, we have that naked point of control from this area, right? So it's like, okay, it's a naked point of control based on the price action from Saturday. We just have that lower high resistance, right? Well, we're just about to hit that lower high resistance, my bad. Could it be a fake out? Could it, we got lower high. You break up. Is this a moment to long the breakout? You got that high volume node, which is naked, right, from Saturday. Could it wick above that high created today and create the double top or the triple top, right, and then roll back down? I mean, we could be seeing that, guys. We could be. It could reject. It could be a fake out. It's just a confluence level. So it's not going to be easy. We do have the possibility of this being a finished structure, and I'll go through the comment section right away. The fact that we do have 3-wave, in a nutshell, we are not going to micro count this. 1, 2, 3. The fact that we've got 1, 2, 3 here can give us the chance of a breakout. It is possible, we could break out here. The only two scenarios that, I do see here, this not being impulsive, is either that contracting move, descending wedgie structure, or the 3-wave complex WXY in a double zigzag. So if we, this is just not going to be easy to take short decisions, realizing that, this could actually bring in a full-on reversal. There is danger in shorting the pumps here. However, we got the levels and we got the risk management. So, it could very much just be a liquidity grab above these highs. I mean, let's get some other levels on the chart from today based on the previous day levels. And we have got supported in the end. We did manage to get above. We did have a little bit of a breakout trend strategy. Shout out to 𝗕𝗏𝘆𝗽 in the Legends trading community, providing the setups as well, which is acceptable. Long positions, targeting the highs. I have to say, this is why I mentioned, this high is a take profit zone, especially if you do create a reaction swing failure pattern. But 𝗕𝗏𝘆𝗽 was talking about the breakout basically on this move right over here, right? You're uptrending, you break out, long position, stop loss, target zone. Scalp scenario that has been mentioned in the Legends trading community. Let's see if we do get that movement to the upside and claim those highs, or are we going to get that resistance from this lower high right over here. Now, the breakout, right? Let's try and understand what the heck has happened here from the low, right? Can we move impulsively to the upside, or is this just too choppy and I don't believe this is going to do anything and we're going to claim the low again, right? Well, let's analyze a little bit of the waves here that have happened from this low, because you have had 5 waves, and you know this has been mentioned this morning in the Legends trading community that you know there is a chance of a higher low either forming here or sweeping this low right over here. There is a chance because we have formed 5 waves up, even though it's horrible 5 waves up. It's not, you know, I mean, it could be it could be a contracting one right there. 5 waves, you formed the corrective move, hitting the 50% Fibonacci. I mean, this could be part of you know, an ABC or a 1, 2, 3, and you're just going to absolutely rip. It is possible to count that just based on the low that has been created very late last night. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can count this as a corrective structure. We just got a bounce from the previous day point of control a few hours ago and the 50% Fibonacci from the low created yesterday to the highs created today. 50% Fibonacci from this move, right? With the previous day point of control. Not easy because you're losing the daily open and previous day value high. I mean, to be honest, I was looking for the golden pocket and the sweep of this low. That was the best long in my opinion. You know, obviously this was a kind of a bit aggressive, but it was a chance. You know, I was realizing, you know, this could bounce at this zone, and there's one factor that was bringing me the doubt that the price, hey, it's probably going to bounce from here. It's probably going to bounce from this zone, and this low is not going to be claimed. And that was based on bullish CVD divergence. Okay, so we did have some local bullish CVD divergence throughout this move today, where you had lots of shorts entering on Bybit. You know, people want to short the market right now. They see a little dump of a few $1,000s and they'll keep shorting, and they'll short at the lows, which is basically what has been happening throughout today. You know, we've got a lot of Bybits here in the yellow shorting, a lot of Bybit shorters entering right there, and you know, they're ever so slightly underwater right now. So yeah, there was a reason to believe that, you know, hey, there is Bybit shorts entering into the market with this rollover. You are forming higher lows, so they're getting absorbed, and you're just continuing with higher lows right now. And it does look like it wants to have a chance to move to the upside. So on the other side, we've just had some bearish ones invalidated, right? Because we were getting a little bit of a fight of CVD right now. You basically had lower highs and ever so slightly higher highs right there. So you got lower lows, higher lows, and you got lower highs and higher highs on CVD. So there was a little bit of a battle. These have been invalidated right now. Yeah, they've been invalidated because you've claimed these lower highs. So yeah, for the moment, the bullish CVD divergence are the ones that are leading at the moment, invalidating those local bearish ones. So anyway, yeah, I just wanted to give that explanation from today's update in the Legends trading community. Of course, we do have the, the possibility of forming a higher low right there. And then of course we do have the conservative trading setup, which is basically, you know, looking for that confirmation breakout of the daily open, previous day value area high, the lower high internal resistance. And it's basically understanding as well that, hey, maybe this has been a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a very, very weird, you know, you can count it as a contracting, you know, 5-wave move up. And there's been the corrective structure, right? Meaning that you could break out from lower high resistance and you could get the continuation up, at least to sweep up these highs, right? It is giving you a move of $500-600, stop loss at the lows, and just give it a shot, right? Give it a shot. You can be a little bit defensive as well at the moment. Yeah, there is ways of trading this locally, right? Because hey, if you want to know about, you know, the different analysis and setups and scenarios, my analysis, Devil's analysis, Devil also goes live stream, okay, in the mornings. I join him, we come together, try and come to the conclusion of the different setups, right? I like along here, I know we can bounce from here, previous day point of control 50%, bullish CVDs. You know, if we do bounce from here, we need to have a plan B, right? What is the plan B? Where we got the breakout of the trend, you know, that could really bring us the possibility of claiming this high. We could jump into a long, still manage risk. We just take a look at so many different scenarios because we are ready not only for one trade, we're ready for 2 or 3 trading setups. If you want all of that and more, you do have the Legends trading community, guys. Almost everybody that I know that have joined, you know, they do just give a lot of feedback and they're very grateful for the analysis and the education and the possible different setups. You can test it out. It might not be for you and you might think, you know, this is really not for me. I don't like it. I don't learn anything. I don't see the value. You can always leave. But, you know, if you want to take your trading experience to the next level, I would really suggest to join the Legends trading community where we do update every single day. Look for the different plans and different setups, mainly for Bitcoin, okay? You got the first link down below to join the Discord. So taking a look at this, I have to say, look, if I come to the conclusion here with obviously today's, you know, this morning's analysis, and this could still be, all right, don't get me wrong, this could still roll down from here. It could still roll down. But if we are speculating on the chances here that, I mean, daily open did provide some pretty nice, you know, did maintain daily open and previous day value area high. You know, I have to say we got above it. That's already a tiny sign of strength for the possibility of sweeping this high. Also, just to keep it simple, anybody that's, you know, wants some simple analysis, you break lower high resistance, you know, just, you know, the momentum could likely continue to the upside to try and test the highs, which is this one right over here from today. So coming to the conclusion, hey, we have formed 5 waves here to the upside. This is not impulsive. You either have an expanding, right? An expanding 5-wave move, or you have a contracting wave, right? In 5 waves. They're not the most beautiful. They happen a lot on Bitcoin. You know, it's not as easy to detect impulsive moves and you know, and corrective moves, especially corrective moves. They can be a pain in the ass because you have triangles and flats and scenarios and all different combos, right? And WXYs, and they're just a pain to you know, analyze all the time. And but we have them, right? When you have them, you just need to take it into consideration, right? I have this 5-wave move up, either contracting or expanding. It doesn't matter really. You have the 5-wave moves to the upside. You have them. So if you have them, you need to take into consideration the possible next move, which would be eventually after this move, hey, this probably can push up. This can probably push up and break the highs of today. Why? Just because of this. Just because of this, you need to give it a chance. You need to give it a probability that it could happen. Especially when you are uptrending throughout the last 24 hours. You know, the trend throughout the last 24 hours is up. The trend throughout the last 72 hours is down. The trend throughout the last 300 hours is actually up. So locally, what we're looking at here is that possibility, right? Understanding, right, as we did the analysis throughout the live stream, right? Talking about the contracting diagonal here, talking about the WXY. Hey, actually, this could be the low. And, you know, also coming to the possibility of, you know, why could this be the low? Well, also looking at this internal structure that has happened throughout the last 24 hours. What internal structure? What the heck are you talking about? You have no idea what you're talking about. Well, yes, I do actually know what I'm talking about. It's a, you know, 5 move to the upside right over here. You got 3 peaks that confirm a 5-wave move. So, you know, and corrective structures, unless it's an A, B, C, D, E, right? Mainly in a triangle. Well, you don't, you know, it would be rare. It is rare to see to see this move unless you're forming something more complex. Okay, you could have a flat structure in the middle here. We ain't gonna go there. We ain't gonna talk about that. So you need to come to the conclusion of, hey, if we analyze that this could be the bottom, and this is moved in a 5-wave move up. This has corrected down. Oh, I mean, and this is a classic trap. I mean, come on. This is a classic bear trap. You got the breakout of the trend line. You got the breakout of the higher lows. Come on, this is just such a classic trap. If you don't analyze the waves and you don't analyze the timing and understanding, zooming out ever so slightly, understand this movement down and understand this movement to the upside. If you are just trading trend lines and you don't have more knowledge, such, you know, like me and 𝗕𝗏𝘆 and the coach in the legend training community, well, you are going to short the breakout of this trend here, because you're downtrending, right? That's the first thing that you would believe. Obviously, the trend is your friend. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say that it's not right, but you would have to use a little bit of more analysis. And, you know, me understanding the analysis, I understand that this could be the start of a first wave up finish here today, even though if it's double topped, even though if you're broken out from the trend, I understand that this could actually be the first wave up of something much larger to come. So, I mean, this is just a classic bear trap right there. It's just a classic bear trap, especially for retail traders. You break the trend, we're coming down to the lows. That's what most would believe. And, you know, you basically get the price, you know, continuing to the upside. You're like, what the heck's happened here? Well, it's just been a bear trap. But you understand how, yeah, that was a probability without a doubt. That was a probability that this, you know, this could happen because of this 5-wave move up. And, you know, you could count here a 3-wave structure. This was not an easy long, I have to say. This was not an easy long, even though we got to previous day point of control and the 50% Fibonacci. It was not easy. I preferred the sweep of the low because I was saying with the Legends trading community, hey, I would really like that at least we get a deeper pullback right here. I would speculate that this could be a first initial wave to the upside, either in an ABC or in a 1, 2, 3. It doesn't matter. You're speculating on that next wave, at least to claim the highs. So if I want to speculate on this, I want the best level, right? And the best level, sometimes you don't get the best level. But the best level was this one, right? Sweep of that low, which initially would be the sweep of the wave 4, which is my preferred scenario. I obviously prefer the wave 4. It does happen a lot where you sweep the wave 4 and then you get the rally. you would still be forming bullish CVD divergence. So, you know, would have been a good shot to actually sweep up that low. It would have given you an epic entry point to be very defensive on this movement up. So anyway, we're kind of trying to test here, right? Back test the scene of the crime of the higher low support. I mean, well, this is a bit dodgy, but right, it's getting a small reaction here. It's not continuing to pump very successfully at the moment. It is getting the reaction from lower high resistance. So we got a bit of trend line resistance going on here. We got a bit of trend line resistance. You got lower highs and you got the higher lows, right, from the move between yesterday and today. Yeah, it's kind of, yeah. You got a bit of a trend line resistance at the moment. Lower high. And you got this scene of the crime as well. Would I speculate on a short position? Because we do have the bearish case scenario here. I mean, I don't entirely like this too much for a short. It's today's point of control as well. Today's point of control based on this price action. That is where we are getting resistance at the moment. Today's point of control. Would I see it as a good short? You know, not. I'm just realizing of the bullish case. It is getting a bit of resistance. It's just a trend line resistance right now from lower highs and higher lows, yeah. And today's point of control. But you know, I just realized the little squeeze up that could happen. I mean, you could put a stop loss. Yeah, I wouldn't go too crazy with a stop. I mean, you're probably hitting what, the 7/8. You're not even the 7/8. Ever so slightly above the 0.88. If you wanted to short this, yeah, you would just have to say that this could be your invalidation. If you hit the 0.88 from this move, it's unlikely that it's going to be a wave 2, say, right? And you're going to see a 5-way move down if you hit the 0.88. But there is that bearish case still, right? The contracting diagonal, as mentioned, you know, hey, maybe it is going to happen here. And it forms that lower high just here at the trend line levels and today's point of control. I have to say, I would keep it tight as invalidation. I don't like it too much. And I even don't like the short from this naked point of control. I just don't like it. Just like what I explained here as well, that if the price comes up and tests this high from today, I have to say that I realize the possibility of another wave, right? Despite of the price rolling down from here, I realize the possibility of another of the wave going to higher levels in an ABC or either a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you get the continuation to the upside, right? So I understand it can reject, but I'm not liking it that much. I mean, it is a bit of resistance without a doubt. Anyway, let's go through the comment section. We need to go through the comment section right away, legends, because and then we'll continue, guys. We need to go to the next step, right? What would be the next step? But yeah, if the price does end up rolling down from here, then eventually, you know, we would be looking at the lows from yesterday, right? We would be looking at the lows from yesterday, and you know, that would be basically like the target zone if this contracting diagonal would happen, right? I'm just not liking this movement up. I can count 5 waves, even though it's very messy. I can count 5 waves, and it's blocking me to believe that this is a corrective structure. Realizing that this could happen, that those highs could be claimed, just because of this internal move. This is why I don't like the short. It's because of this. Because if we were to move up here, I would want to see, my goodness, there's too much mess on the chart, a 3-wave structure. I would want to see kind of a 3-waver here, not a 5-waver in a corrective move. It's just not, it's not doable, right? I would want to see this, right? You got the low. I want to see 1, 2, 3. Then you start forming lower highs. You're moving down. 1, 2, 3. This was, I mean, this is not a correction. This is part of the impulse. 1, 2, 3. I don't want to see 5. I don't want to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, that gives me the idea that this could be a wave A or a wave 1. And we could form a higher low and we could pop out here. So, yeah, this is why I don't like this short. I don't like it, even though there is resistance. I don't like it because of this move. This is what is making me avoid this short, even though it could roll down. I would say that, guys, this would be a miss short for me. If it were to end up rolling down like this, for me, it's a miss short position. I'm not sure what CVD is printing here, but let's take a look at CVD. We could be on the formation of bullish CVDs, to be honest here. Yeah, we're probably just forming. There's no. I mean, there is bearish, ever so slight bearish CVDs from here on Bybit. I mean, there is longs entering on Bybit and most of exchanges. So there is higher highs on CVD. There is lower highs on price action. You do have a little bit of CVD fight here, right? Higher lows, lower lows, slight higher highs right there, lower highs right there. I mean, if you would have to put stop right there above those highs. What can I say? If you wanted to tempt that short, this has to be your invalidation. If you hit that level, you're just likely going to take the high. I wouldn't go too crazy here. But if it were to be the the top and it rolls down, I mean, yeah, it could roll down to the lows. I'm not liking it. I'm not liking it, even though I understand it could roll over. We do have some ever so slight bearish CVDs right there. So there is longs entering that could get punished. But I don't like this movement to the upside. And as I do see this, it just, my eyes are bleeding based on this 5-wave move up. So which is preventing me of getting into a short right there, even though I know, it would be a tight-ish stop. But I personally don't like it. I personally don't like that short. Legends, if you are interested in trading, you have Bybit, of course, 𝗖𝗄𝗄 with the lowest fees, or bluffing, which is a no KYC. I know most of the people want no KYC based on restrictions. Just with an email and a password, you can start trading on bluffing. They have proof of reserves from their clients. They don't do any fishy things with the client's funds for the trading. It goes directly to the volume on the exchange, and there's a $10,000 deposit bonus on bluffing, guys. If you want to take advantage to that, you do have the third link in the description, guys. You can trade hundreds of altcoins there, all right? Bitcoin inclusive, obviously. And it's no KYC, up to $10,000 deposit bonus. Take advantage of that, guys. Bluffing for me is it's this high liquid, okay, high volume, so you don't get any major wicks. All right, it's very, very solid. Check it out. No KYC, best platform that I do believe. All right, there is no KYC. Then obviously you have Bybit, which you do get a bonus as well. Bybit is my favorite. If you can register and do KYC, I would say Bybit is number one, guys. You will not fail with Bybit. Check it out, guys. You do get also a $500 airdrop that you can use for your trading. So we are getting that rejection right there from that resistance, very, very locally. It was just today's point of control. You got today's point of control. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would still consider today's point of control, lower high resistance. I mean, it could have been the short. If the price rolls over from here and it starts getting back inside the previous day value levels, I mean, it could have been the best chance to catch the high. Whoops. The high of this move, basically. Taking a look at the session volume profile. We're still above previous day value levels. We're still uptrending throughout the last 30 minutes, right? 30 minutes, well, 1 hour or two, well, a few hours actually. Woo, I mean, it's... Where's VWAP? We're going to come to the VWAP now. It is uptrending. We're ever so slightly uptrending here. Oh, but it's just, I do see this as the classic level where it just test of the scene of the crime, right? So you break out from higher low, you come all the way up till you hit the strongest levels of resistance, which is today's point of control, lower high resistance from here. You know, that it does have a chance. If you want to catch a high, you know, that was the high, and this could bring you a really good trade if it ends up breaking down here and goes to our next possible trading setup, right, which was mentioned at the beginning of the stream. But you know, if you wanted like to catch the high of a possible move, you know, that was possibly a one right there. If this starts breaking down, it's still uptrending, but just saying it was actually not a, I didn't like it, but it was not a bad level, and stop loss as well was pretty clear, right? You just need to understand that the 0.88 Fibonacci is more than enough. This high over here is more than enough for a stop loss if you enter this area. You can be quite defensive as you get the movement down, you know, get your stop close to break even. This needs to start breaking down now, right? If it bounces again, then I would say, look, it's just very likely to break up, right? Because, you know, this small little uptrend, if you get into a technical level for a short and the price moves down to the lower part of the support and it does not break, it's bouncing at the VWAP at the moment. If you do not break the VWAP and you do not break this level, you want to be defensive with that short. If you come back up to the high, then you give it a chance of either breaking out, stopped out at break even, you are not in a loss anymore, or you give the chance for the price to create a double top. You wick and you get back down and you re-enter basically a local double top. Only if you reject from the high. Obviously, if you maintain above the level, you're not shorting anywhere here. Just to play the defensive game, right? You know, sometimes I get too defensive and I get stopped out at break even many times, which is good sometimes. Sometimes it's bad because sometimes I don't, you know, I get stopped out at break even and then the price leaves without me, just because I'm not in front of the chart and, you know, I've just been basically not paying attention to the charts basically. But anyway, that's the possibility. Let's go through the comment section. I think it is time for comment section. We've talked about the levels here that are interesting, movements to the upside that are I would really be extremely cautious with the possibility of the price actually creating a reaction at this naked point of control, just because I understand that this movement 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 right there, this could have been already the 1 wave, 2 wave, 3 wave, or A wave, B wave, C wave, right? This double top is not too attractive for me. I mean, at least for me, just realizing of the possible wave up here. I mean, the reaction is there. Your risk management is there. If you get above the level, you get beneath it, and you want to have an attempt, your stop loss, and you just play the defensive game as the price does get the rejection, then you can play that, you can play this responsibly. You know where to put stop loss. You know the rejection. You know the... But I just understand, I would probably attempt it. However, I understand, I would be extremely defensive. I understand that this could do this. So I'm not going to do any funny business of shorting anywhere here. I'll be out of the market if it does, reject and it comes back up. I will not be looking for more shorts or adding to the short. I'll be out. Right? Cutting the losses close to break even if it were to S&P from here, just because I understand that this could form a three-wave structure at a bare minimum here. And why could it do so? Because of this 5-wave move up. Okay, so it's just understanding, hey, yeah, I know it's a good level. Yeah, it could double top. It would, I would have to come to the conclusion of something different here. But I understand that it could just reject and form a higher low and continue pumping. So anyway, we talked about the different scenarios. What if the price does pump up, right? We break out. What are the next levels, right? We talked about this level. We're talking about this level not being the greatest based on the 3-wave move up, A, B, C, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not the greatest. It's too shallow. We understand that. What would be the next level where the price could reject on that extension if it were to be a 1, 2, 3 or a 1 or an ABC? What are the levels that we do have above us? Let's take a look here at the previous week levels, previous month levels. Let's see if we do see something. Previous month close, previous week equilibrium. Zoom out here ever so slightly. We can get these trend lines out of the way. We can clean the chart ever so slightly. I mean, we'll leave the wedge. We'll leave the wedge. Previous month close. Previous month close. I mean, if this were to be the higher low at 68,400, pivot low, pivot high, pivot low, 1-to-1 extension sits at 70,400, close to the previous month close. Fibonacci's from the high to the lows. Do we have any fib levels there? Major fibs. We got 50%, which is previous week equilibrium. Makes sense because of this move. Yeah, golden pocket from this high of Friday to the low created yesterday. The golden pocket sits where we have the previous month close, right? October's close sits at 70,231. Which is where we have the golden pocket area. It's not the 1-to-1. I would say it's not the greatest level for a short. Just based on the possible extension here, not going to be easy without a doubt. Yeah, I would have to see the development of the price action here. I wouldn't go randomly too crazy with the possible trading setups. Anyway, the price of Bitcoin is slowly coming down here. Slowly coming down. Yeah, I mean, this was not a bad entry. This was not a bad entry. Risk management was pretty clear. Risk management is like, you know, I wouldn't push that stop loss too far away here from the 0.88 Fibonacci. We are hitting some resistance. We basically back testing the higher lows support, right, from these higher lows of Sunday. It's the scene of the crime, and we are, you know, back testing also the lower high resistance. So there's a, you know, and today's point of control. Yeah. You know, it was kind of an acceptable level to enter a trade. Okay, it was and I would be defensive. If you entered that trade, I would put stop to, you know, to break even. If we come all the way up there, I would really speculate that, hey, you know, it's possibly going to break out. But it was a good entry zone, right? We know about the entry. What we do not know, if are we going to break down from this uptrend? Will we get the selling pressure? I mean, it would be nice to target the lows. It would make sense in this overall downtrend. Yeah, it was, you know, like I said, we know the entry, we know the risk management, we know how to be defensive. Yes, we are downtrending throughout the last few days. The projection would be kind of look for the lows to be claimed. But anyway, risk entry, risk management, break even, you know the deal. We can be very defensive, guys. Trading is more important of defending your capital than actually making gains. So anyway, let's go through comment section. There is a bit of news that I do want to discuss. I also want to do a 24-hour live stream. Oh my goodness, imagine that. That would be absolutely epic. Imagine doing a 24-hour live stream. I should challenge myself and do that. I think we should do a 6-hour live stream, but I should go more through comment section, guys, instead of just focusing on the Bitcoin analysis. But I know a lot of you enjoy it. You know, a lot of you do enjoy, you know, looking at the different confluence levels, try and understand the entry points, the risk, you know, how to, you know, look for the setups, right? This is what I enjoy doing every single morning, right? You know, just freshly, with a coffee, and analyze, you know, share with the Legends trading community the different, you know, different scenarios. So anyway, US election is tomorrow. Yes, sir, my man, always explicit. Yes, Andy, we love your analysis. 𝗬𝗏𝗽, thank you very much, my brother. Much love to you. Okay, much love to you. Guys, remember to follow up on Insta, because I created an Instagram. You will see a little bit of my personal life here. Somebody that wants to see, you know, my life here. I basically train, eat well, and, you know, basically chart, a bit of YouTube. I do some other stuff. You know, I just went to the Warner Bros. Theme park in Abu Dhabi the other day, which was pretty cool. You know, you might get a little bit of a few stories of what I do here. Okay, a bit of personal life, but also you get those shorts. All right, as in, you know, very nice, basic, you know, easy to understand different scenarios, what cryptos are best to trade, and just some general information. You got the Instagram down below, guys, if you want to drop a follow. Not only YouTube. I only opened this a few weeks ago, so just gonna give it a go. If it's a bit of a waste of time, you know, I'll just leave it on the side. But you got, you know, the Instagram channel right there if you want to follow. And I will post a few things of my personal life sometimes. Okay, just if you wanna, if it's an interest for you, right? Let's go. Yo, Shelby, how are you doing, my man? Long time no see, Shelby. How are you? Right, let's go through comment section. I think it's time for 5-10 minutes of pure comment section, right? A bit of Q&A, a bit of chatting, a bit of, you know, altcoins, maybe analysis. I want to go through some news, though. I do want to go through some news. And did anybody get into that short position? I didn't like it. I didn't enter. The stop loss was provided. the entry zone was kind of provided as well. It's like, I didn't like it, I had to be honest, you know, but I realized it was an acceptable entry. It's you know, when you know that I don't like it too much, and the main reason why I didn't like it was because of this 5-wave move to the upside, and this potentially being a end of a corrective move. Very ugly, expanding or contracting. It doesn't matter. It's ugly, but the 5 waves are there. But you understand as well, hey, you're hitting the resistance, just a, you know, basic trend line resistance. You're hitting today's point of control. It's like you're having ever so slightly bearish CVD divergence, right? You are getting people FOMOing into longs. You're actually forming some local bullish ones right now. But yeah, you were forming these higher time frame bearish ones, right? You are getting those higher highs, lower highs on the price action. Hey. You know, there was a chance of rejection. Let's leave it that way. And this could have been the high, right? If this starts breaking down throughout the next coming hours, you know, this was the high. You don't want to go much higher than this, because if you move out from this zone, yeah, you could test this high and reject, but you're probably looking for higher levels, right? So you don't want to be in any short positions in between this area or in this area, right? Because you know that the price could pump out nicely, but you can manage your risk here very, very well. Yeah, it was just pretty clear. It was the invalidation was clear. I mean, okay, well, there wasn't a clear trade because I didn't get into the trade, but it was a clear invalidation, as in, you know, your stop loss should have been above this level, which is the 0.88 fib. And you're getting the reaction from today's point of control, and you got a bit of trend line resistance, right? But if it does reject successfully from here, then, you know, it could be looking, you know, it would have been an epic high, right, to get in. You are forming local bullish CVDs at the moment, so it could be a little bit of a rangy, squeezed, boring zone, guys, throughout the next coming hours. I have to say, sorry. You know, it could be a little bit rangy. You might get another higher low bounce from here, claim those highs, because you are forming some bullish CVDs. You are getting some aggressive shorts entering the market on the rest of exchanges that might get punished. So it could get a bit boring and rangy here. Test lows, test highs. Daily open providing the support ever so slightly here. I mean, not the greatest for a long scalp. I mean, you could have entered daily open here. You got a bit of bullish CVDs. You could have the stop loss beneath here. It's very, you know, a bit aggressive. It is a bit aggressive. But it's a bit of a scalp, right? You're looking back up to the highs because just of this uptrend. Daily open is providing that ever so slight support, and you do have some bullish CVDs. This is like really, really scalping the zone, right? Really getting into the scalps. But it's not the best confluence area for me either. Anyway, let's go through comment section, and then we'll be going through some very interesting news. There's only a few things of news that I want to talk about, guys. Okay, so in your personal opinion, when do you think Bitcoin enters price discovery? Well, that's when you break all-time high, right? I've got 𝗖𝗿𝘆𝗽𝗫 here asking, in your personal opinion, when do you start going into price discovery for Bitcoin? Well, you enter price discovery once you break all-time high. And that's because, why is it called price discovery? Is because you do not have any resistance from the chart, from the history, right? You don't have any naked point of controls. You don't have any daily, weekly, yearly levels. You don't have basically major levels based on the data that you have. So you enter discovery. You only have possible Fibonacci extensions, right, or expansions, or, you know, waves, you know, analysis, right, on the possible extensions. And in this case, well, for example, you would go with the expansion from the high to the low. You've got a Fibonacci expansion. You would say, okay, 90,000 is a possible target. If you break out and you go to price discovery is all-time high. Basically, you don't have much resistance. I'm not sure if you're referring to this, but anyway, when Trump wins, we have someone here. When Trump wins, someone is actually confirming that Trump is going to win. When Trump wins, let's take a look at that, because yeah, Trump does have a high probability. It was much higher a few days ago. It's going up. It's gone up now in the last, this is just moving now with volatility throughout the last couple of days. Yeah, he has a high probability that he could win. But yeah, when will price enter price discovery? And somebody's saying when Trump wins. There is a lot of speculation on, there's people saying that, hey, the price, crypto will pump. There is this that is very interesting. Okay, too many overthinking November, which is historically a good month, not only for the stock market, also for Bitcoin. Okay, when we take a look at the numbers and the data here on November, it has been one of the most bullish months. There's also been bearish months, but those have been bear market cycles. Okay, in the bear market cycle, of course, 2018 and 2019, 2021, which is when the price peaked. All right, obviously it's the peak of the bull run right there. So obviously, you're in a bear market. November has been bearish throughout, bear market cycles. 2018, 2019, 2021, 2022. But we are supposedly in the middle, even end stages, I would say, of the bull run. This is when you get euphoric and price pumps $10,000 every day for a few days, for a couple of weeks, right? So it's like bang, 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 create the FOMO stage. It's going to happen relatively fast. We're talking about just a few months or even a few weeks. I remember, I'm not sure if you were here, guys, in the previous bull run, but it was absolutely epic. Living this is, and I started YouTube just at the beginning stages of the bull run. I was already heavily invested in crypto since 2018. Obviously, insane returns. I started YouTube. Trading was doing well. All the investments were doing well as well. We were getting, a fast recovery on a lot of the cryptos after the C19 crash, and started YouTube right over here. And I just basically started on the bull run, right? The bull run was what grew the channel. Then obviously channel was pretty flat throughout this period over here because, people just FOMO'd in. I would say more than half of my subscribers were built up here and they bought crypto here. And yeah, obviously they are not happy. They are not happy subscribers, right? Anyway, we talk about the technicals. We talk about investment as well, without a doubt. But we do technical analysis. So we're very much going to be here in bear market, bull market, wherever, right? We look for trading different opportunities and analyzing the chart. So, but it was purely based off hype. It was built up on a hype, which is very interesting to see, right? You can just see the sentiment on the on YouTube. Subscribers, and obviously now the views and everything are going ever so slightly better because we are having Bitcoin near all-time highs. Altcoins, some of them are popping, mainly the meme coins, but yeah, obviously the interest will be huge once we break out all-time high. Anyway, Death Cross was formed in US dollar tether dominance. Okay, well that's good. That means that, yeah, I would expect the tether dominance. I've got some news, guys, and bear with me because, it is very interesting news to take into, what am I doing? US dollar tether dominance. It's news that you want to take into consideration, okay? Would I expect the tether dominance breaking down? Yeah, eventually I would. Tether dominance has been in a strong bull run, obviously. A lot of people in the bear market flip their crypto into Tether, right? That's when Tether went parabolic was exactly in late 2021, right? November, that was the bottom right there from this uptrend. And obviously the dominance went up by, I don't know how much this was, but over 7% in about a year, less than a year. Yeah, people are flipping their crypto into stablecoin like crazy. So, I would expect the Tether dominance to actually should go to lower levels, at least test this low one more time as the bull run continues, right? You might think, well, it does look like somebody saying the death cross has happened here. I don't use the EMAs, but you could speculate as well. What if this is a corrective structure? The Tether dominance is going to go up as we are going to go into an epic bear market in the next coming weeks, right? Few months. This is very strongly uptrending, even though I do expect fresh liquidity entering the market. So this is really not extremely reliable to say if we go up then it's bear market, if we go down then it's obviously more tether into altcoins, right? Bitcoin and altcoins. There's always fresh liquidity entering the market every cycle, so it's not the greatest indicator to predict, will we enter bear market or bull market, in my opinion. But Bitcoin dominance, guys, Bitcoin dominance. This is the chart. This is the chart that you basically want to pay attention based on your altcoin bags. And I know a lot of the altcoin bags are not looking too great, guys. When altcoin season comes, almost every single altcoin, okay, there will be maybe one or two out of your bags, right, that might not get those pumps, such as XRP. I mean, if you hold XRP, I cannot guarantee anything. I cannot guarantee anything anyway, but if you hold XRP, I have to say, look, it either flies or it either doesn't do anything, right? I cannot guarantee anything with XRP. But there's some very good projects: Avalanche, L1s, Avalanche, Chainlink, GRT. There's some AI ones. I do expect Algorand to do very well. There's some new AI ones. Some meme coins as well would do well, but be careful with meme coins. We've got meme coins. We've got thousands of meme coins created. You ain't going to be the one that makes a 50x, 100x with those altcoins. There's a lot of them that are going to be pumping dumps. Stay very cautious, guys, with the meme coins. But nevertheless, good altcoin projects such as L1 projects, oracles such as Chainlink, DIA is a good one as well. I remember buying DIA and I sold my DIA bag, but we're not here to talk about my altcoins in the past. Good projects will thrive. And what I want you to make you understand on this Bitcoin dominance chart is the 4-year cycle. This time is different, you may say. This time is different, right? It's no difference for the moment. The dominance of Bitcoin is going up, which is been very much expected. This uptrend structure, we've been talking about this for months, is very much expected to absolutely continue till 2025. This has to go up. Altcoins should not do much except for some crazy meme coins that are doing 200% pumps in less than a week, right? But in general, most of the altcoins will not be doing too well in this period of time before we actually enter, right, December or even January of 2025. That's when we should start seeing some sharp corrective moves. I think I did pull out this chart back in the previous live stream where you had basically the December of 2016, the dominance absolutely collapsing after December 2016, bringing one of the craziest altcoin runs, right? Also the 2021 altcoin run. So they won't be as big, in my opinion. However, we will still get one. We will still get an altcoin season and massive gains. So this corrected Bitcoin dominance in December of 2016. This one did in December, peaked out in December of 2020. 4-year, right now we are entering into that 4-year December of 2024, right? It's moving up as it should do from the cycle. You move up, you get a blow off top. You move up here, well, here was pretty flat. It was relatively, there was a lot of new altcoins. Bitcoin dominance was at 96%. So there's really, this is when we saw, basically this movement of dominance was because of the creation of many altcoins. But overall, I would be expecting something very, very similar. Give or take December, January, February, give a bit of margin of a few weeks. But we should be seeing that steep correction on the Bitcoin dominance. And I would expect that starting to happen once Bitcoin crosses all-time highs successfully. So anyway, going back to Bitcoin, bit of a wiki, bit of a rejection. I understand that this could have been the high, guys. This could have been the high. Did anybody enter the short position here at the 69K zone? I didn't like it too much, but it would have been, the thing is the projection of this. This could have been the high. If this starts breaking down beneath the previous day levels, right? Previous day. I mean, you've already broken the daily open. Not too, with a bit of volume. Oh, a bit of too much volume actually entering here on Bybit at least. Oh, you're going to form some fresh bullish CVDs. There is a lot of shorts entering right here. We've had several million shorts entering here on this move. Quite a lot of shorts entering, forming those local bullish CVDs. I would not short here or long here. And I would be defensive if you did get into the short. You're getting some bullish divs here, so could get a bounce. Anyway, let's took profits already, says Pac-Man. I entered. What an absolute sniper legend, Pac-Man, that you are, you cheeky booger. Getting into that short at today's point of control. And basically just a trend line level of resistance, right? Anyway, can you chart 𝗫𝗫𝗃? What is 𝗫𝗃𝗃? Good job, Pac-Man. Much love to you, my man. Sin Games, I closed 90% of my shorts now. 21%, that will do. Stop set to cover fees. Absolute legend. Sin Games, you're the man. You're the man. Much love to you, brother. Yeah, I didn't like the short position. Okay, I did talk about this short now in the last 30 minutes. I didn't like it. I didn't like it too much. But it's all regarding knowing where the invalidation should be. I mean, and this could come down to the lows. I was realizing the resistance, but I didn't like it based on the 5-wave move up. It doesn't matter. This happens to me almost every single day. I will look at 3-4 setups, and I might not get in one, and I might get into the best one that I like. Okay, I really like high probability setups. So this for me was was not extreme. I didn't like it based on this 5-wave move up. That's it, right? It's just I didn't realize that this could be a 1-wave, 2-wave, 3-wave, or a 1A wave, A, B, C kind of. I'm just looking for a third wave. However, we also talked about the scenario of this descending wedge. If you're going to get into a small position, stop loss, you can protect right now to cover fees if the price does get a bounce. But You could leave 20 or 30% open just in case the price does break down and it comes down to this low. This would be your second target zone, right? You could say, I could leave some open because if this downtrend continues, you're in a free trade right now. And as we have lost the daily open and the previous day value area high, and there is a bit of volume, there is bullish CVDs, but there is a chance for the getting back inside previous day value levels is for me it's an ever so slight sign of weakness. Anyway, let's go through comment section. Someone said about 𝗫𝗫𝗄𝗃. I don't know what this is. I know most of the people don't like me doing altcoins. We like to focus on Bitcoin because 𝗫𝗫𝗃, 𝗫𝗃 this one. Right, when was this created? This is moving pretty nicely to the upside. This is actually a famous meme coin, right? 𝗫𝗃, the golden child of Solana. Whew. Wow. I mean, I don't know, guys. A lot of people will not want to see 𝗫𝗃 analysis on the stream. I can already tell you that. But what can we do? What a major wick here. Uptrending, very wicky. Very wicky here. What can we do? We back tested the highs here from a failed auction. Right, you got those highs created from May that have been back tested basically with a major wick. Yeah, what can I say? There's really there's no real analysis to do behind this. If I'm honest with you, there's no real analysis. But anyway, we'll move on to the next thing. 𝗫𝗃 has a really good marketing. Yeah, by the looks of things, it does. It has been doing pretty well throughout the last few weeks. It's done over a 2x throughout the last few weeks. I'm not sure about the team or anything. I've not done any research on these different meme coins that have been coming out throughout the last few months. But stay cautious. Make sure to buy the dips on these altcoins. Don't FOMOing into the pumps, right? So little boring start of the week, says Ali Sal. You got that damn right. Yeah, not too exciting really. Just a small little pump. Now dumping ever so slightly on Bitcoin. We do have a very important week, guys. As you know, presidential election tomorrow. ISM services, PMI. Also, I'm going to be going live throughout the news events just to enjoy the volatility and actually do the analysis on Bitcoin, on analyzing the different levels and waves, which ones are the ones that have been getting respected, from different scenarios that we mentioned throughout today. And we also got on Thursday Fed interest rate decision. Very interesting. Very interesting. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting week. We got the election tomorrow. We got Thursday interest rate decision. Friday, we got Michigan consumer sentiment. Sometimes we get volatility there. We're going to be cautious throughout this week. There's going to be a bit of volatile moves, okay? Stay defensive as that news comes out. And some other interesting things is, right, the amount of spot Bitcoin ETFs accumulated last week has been over 30,000. That is almost 10x the supply that has been mined last week. That's pretty crazy, huh? It's 10 times what is being mined just with a spot Bitcoin ETF last week. That is pretty crazy numbers. Some people might believe this is a topping signal, right? There's so much accumulation at the highs. That's it. This is the top. This is the greed phase. That's it. We're rolling over. I don't think, obviously we're expecting corrections, but not the top, and enter a bear market right now. Guys, we do have interest rate decision. It's 98% chance there's going to be a 25 basis point cut. So we know that interest rates going down, 50 basis point cut, highly unlikely. So we're just going to see that happening. Is that bullish or bearish? Well, we have been going through multiple different charts throughout the previous decades. Cutting rates means that, economy ain't doing that well and usually enters a recession. We've seen that in 2002, in 2001, we've seen that in 2007, 2008, right? You have a plateau, start cutting rates. That's the confirmation of recession, right? So I don't know what to believe. I don't know what to believe anymore with so much data and so much chart. Election year is bullish, but then this is bearish. Bullish and bearish. We want to day trade the levels, right? Day trade the levels, concentrate on those moves of a few $100, maybe $1,000 on Bitcoin, level to level trading. I don't know. We might have a Black Swan event tomorrow. So let's just trade the levels and be careful on the news events. It's the only way that we can do it, right? It's just I haven't found another way. Chart the levels internally, right? Look at for the internal levels of resistance. Jump into a scalp level. This might do this. Jump into the local levels that we talk about throughout the streams and understand how you can get in and where's your invalidation points and what are the best interest zones in the area. Never mind next week. I don't know what the heck I'm going to do tomorrow. Well, never mind next week, right? Never mind bullish or bearish or the top of the bull run. Nobody knows. Nobody will ever know. So let's just react on what happens today and what happens tomorrow, right? This is why you're here. Anyway, Melanie Trump website sells her book and stuff using crypto payments only. This sends a message to the crypto world. That's epic. Philip, thanks for that information. Shout out to you, Philip. How likely are we to have a greater than a minus 10% hit on Bitcoin in the short term? Dump before the election. Yeah, this is also something interesting, guys. Has to do with the news that the chart, right, from this guy, Income Shark. Too many overthinking November, which is historically a good month. We were starting off this, but I got distracted with something else. Both outcomes are already priced in and most have already de-risked. I do see some people actually selling their Bitcoin and selling crypto and panicking. I actually got a friend asking me about a no KYC platform from, I can't tell you where, but because he was willing to sell some of his crypto because he does see the dips happening. There is retail that are ever so slightly panicking out. Which is, I think it's a bullish sign, and this is a friend from mine from a few years ago, just yesterday sent me a message saying, hey, have you got an OKYC platform? Because, where I live, I can't use this exchange. And obviously I suggested bluffing, but he was ready to sell some crypto. He wanted it for spot, basically. So that, he's got that panics, sentiment, which kind of always happens before the euphoria phase as well. But anyway, he was asking me about a no KYC platform, and you have, for me, the best one out there, which is bluffing. No KYC, proof of reserves, and you do get that epic bonus of up to $10,000, guys. Check it out, okay, if you're not signed up. Bybit is my favorite. I know a lot of people can't use Bybit. You also get a great bonus if you can trade on Bybit. But if not, bluffing, guys, it's a great no KYC platform, and you do get the biggest bonus, which is $10,000. Just follow the steps. With the deposits, you'll be getting those airdrops as you do trade. Going throughout this news, as this guy said, most have already de-risked, right? Trump wins in 2016, stock market pumps. And it started off with a dip, right, in late October, which is very interesting to see. Biden wins in 2020, stock market pumps. Trump or Harris wins in 2024, stock market probably pumps. Now, take this with a grain of salt, but you would say that the cycles, right? It's kind of a 4-year cycle. It's an election year. It's money printer going on, because the money printer is going on. It's not going on as fast as we want it to, but it is going on, and we'll likely see some money printing activities throughout the next coming months. It's inevitable. It needs to happen. If not, we're gonna, absolutely collapse. So all the governments might let the collapse happen. Obviously, they manipulate, right? There may be that it's time, right? Just like C19, just like some other events, if they want to and have us like hold to the balls like this, like you ain't going nowhere. You staying at home. Is a crisis for you. Bank account closed. You can only get $50 a day out of your bank and stuff like that, right? They can grab you from the nuts if they want. They might decide to do that tomorrow. We don't know that. This is why we got Bitcoin. They ain't touching my Bitcoin. I can tell you that. They're not touching your Bitcoin. Anyway, taking a look at these previous years that we've had the election, 2016, you can see October entering into November, got the election, and the stock market, S&P 500, wow, it was at 3,000. It was at 3,000 points. It's pretty epic. Yeah, back in 2016, 3,000 points. Just had to move back there. So, stock market has actually pumped a lot in just a few years, I have to say. Almost 100% since 2016, right? It's pretty crazy. Yeah, it is in the side of the 10% average return a year, right? It's not too crazy. November being bullish in 2016 with the election, Donald Trump, and also in 2020, it started off ever so slightly bearish the first couple of days of November, then got a major bullish move. I'm not selling no matter who wins, says Illuminati. Absolutely, guys. Don't sell your Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a revolution. It will surprise you more to the upside than to the downside. When it does so to the downside, it's going to bounce back up. Take those dips as opportunities, because Bitcoin we're close to all-time high, right? So I don't need to explain anything to you. You know it. You just need to take a look at the chart, right? Don't sell most of your Bitcoin, guys, because it's revolutionary, and it will surprise us more to the upside than it does to the downside. Okay, so just a little tip: we're close to all-time high, so you cannot make it up. You cannot make it up. Who bought Bitcoin throughout the last few years, right? Man, 2022 was a good year. It was a good year. It was a good year to accumulate. We were here on the channel. I've been on the channel since here. I've been on the channel telling people where I was selling some of my crypto, and also buying Chainlink. And guys, we need to buy, despite Bitcoin going to 10K. We need to buy at 25K. We need to buy at 20K. We need to buy at 15K. We need to buy, guys. We need to buy. We need to buy. It's going to bounce soon in the next few months. Got the bounce, guys. Of course we did. Of course we got the bounce. Anyway, looking at this data, November has been bullish throughout the election year, 2016, 2020. However, what these people do not take into consideration is 2008 and the year 2000, where we had, after having interest rates going up so much, hitting a plateau in 2007 and cutting rates, entering a recession also in 2000. How about those years? What happened those years with the election? Well, of course it was bear market. Of course it went down for many months, right? And actually it's not that much. A recession on average is about 6 to 12 months, maybe 18 months on average. At least the ones that we know about and our parents know about. The crazy depression was back in the 1920s, right? Which is overextended 5 to 10 years of, bad times. Those are bad times. Our recessions are like, they're just like, hey, quickly, money printer, a bit of inflation, but everybody has money, and we good. Nothing wrong. C19 has to be the fastest recession that we've seen ever, right? Money printing, stocks and everything, and crypto going up like crazy. Anyway, enough being silly here. We got a bit of more printing going on. US dollar coin printing has been going pretty crazy throughout the last few weeks. And this is telling me something that, new stable coins entering the market is usually to buy more Bitcoin and altcoins, right? We'll say a bit more altcoins. So it's usually entering to buy more crypto. Money printer has been going pretty crazy, right? US dollar coin treasury has been going pretty crazy with the printer throughout the last few weeks. Anyway, legends, I'm not selling no matter who wins, says Illuminati. Tom says New York open volatility soon. Also, trusty prop firms for crypto. I'm gonna have to say crypto fund trader. Crypto fund trader is good, and 𝗬𝗏 is good as well. Okay, 𝗬𝗏 and crypto fund trader, they're still live. I have got a couple of accounts on them. I have withdrawn. They are legit. FTMO is also good, but I haven't tested FTMO myself. Anyway, obviously, if you want the exchanges with bonuses, you have the links down below. Those are for experienced traders, guys. Check them out. Bybit, great bonus. Bluffing, great bonus. The analysis on Bitcoin is done. Check it out throughout the beginning of the stream. We've gone through the news, guys. Pretty clear. That short entry, whoever got in, absolutely epic. Already, some quick profits. It was a move of $500. You can be defensive. We could go to the lows. The plans are mentioned, guys. If we break out from the highs and naked point of control, I think we would go to higher levels. I'll be waiting for the range. There's no quick short here for me, in my opinion, if we pump out. But if we do move down, there are some very interesting levels. Check out the beginning of the stream, guys. Thank you very much. And I will see you in the next one.